Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CT, and in this video we're going to be roasting our own beans, and then we're going to be trying the coffee. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. So let's see what we have here. All right, so we're going to go Kenji style on this video. He usually wears a GoPro while he's doing stuff in the kitchen. So for today, what we're going to need is a pot. So we're going to use something somewhat big like this. And we're also going to need something to stir the beans. And aside from that, we're also going to need our beans. So this is an Ethiopian Yerga Chefe green bean. And we're just going to roast a single serving so that we can use it tomorrow. So I'm going to take a 30 milliliter, I guess an eighth of a cup measuring spoon, and I'm just going to put that into this container. So we're just going to measure out about 5 of these tablespoons, since that's how much coffee, or you can make 2 cups of coffee in a French press with this. So that was 3, 4, 5. Alright, so just reseal this. And one of the cool things about this coffee is that I originally got it from some company called Red Rooster, and I really liked the flavor. So I wanted to try roasting this on my own, so let's see how it turns out. So we're going to turn on the fire here. We're going to turn it down to like a medium flame, and we're just going to heat up the pan for a few minutes. So this is the Ethiopian coffee, and this tasted like blueberries and peaches. I tried roasting this coffee in a pan, and it took about 8 to 10 minutes to roast, and it did not come out too well. So what I'm going to try doing now is doing a super slow roast in this pot at a low medium flame for about 20 minutes, just to kind of let things caramelize. So this pan is getting nice and hot. Just going to put the flame up just a bit, just to get it warmer a little quicker. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is start setting a timer. So we're going to set it to about 21 minutes. And I did do this before in a pan, so I know that a lot of steam comes out from these beans. So we want to protect our hands while we do this, since it's going to be a pretty decently long roast. And I'm just going to grab these gloves and put them on, since I know this will be an issue. So this is relatively warm now, so I'm just going to go ahead and start the roast. Just going to dump these in. And again, guys, if you have any tips about what I should be doing, feel free to leave a comment down below. And of course I will try it. So remember, this is only my 3rd time doing this. So one of the things about roasting your own coffee is that you want to continuously agitate and move it. You don't want to keep it stationary, because the coffee can burn relatively quickly. So that's something called scorching, and you definitely do not want that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just moving this coffee around. It's on a medium flame, as you can see. So I'm going to turn it down just a bit. And just keep moving this coffee as much as you can. And one method that I've seen some other YouTubers do is they turn it on the side, and they'll just kind of stir it like this, since it resembles what a professional or one of those much larger drum roasters would do. So we'll just keep stirring this a little bit. And I don't know if you guys can see this in the video, but the beans are slowly turning yellow as we continue stirring. I may turn the heat down just a bit since I'm going for a somewhat longer roast. So make sure you follow this technique. I noticed that when I did it in a pan, I had the heat on high. It was fully roasted in about, I would say, 8 minutes. And the beans were super acidic. They were brown on the outside and not fully developed on the inside. So we'll just keep stirring this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the beans are slowly changing color. So we've been roasting for about not 17. We've been roasting for about 3 minutes now, and the beans are starting to turn yellow. Some of the chaff of the bean is coming off, if you guys can see that, and there's some steam coming off. So the beans smell a little bit like, I would say they have a grassy scent. But I'll just keep stirring this, agitating it. So if you stop agitating, you'll notice that the beans will roast very unevenly. So some beans will be done more than others, and that's not what we're going for. So there's steam coming off, and it's a little warm over here. Alright, so you see making a bit of a mess here, but expected since we want this to roast evenly. So I see that they're starting to turn somewhat brown, so I'm going to turn the fire down just a bit to avoid roasting these beans so quickly. I do want a slower roast just to develop the inside a little more. And again, these are all tips that I've been reading about online. I'm turning the heat down a bit. And we'll just keep agitating. So as you can see, there's chaff flying around. And this movement here will help you provide airflow to the beans and also allow for conduction from the fire. So I'm just agitating the pan as much as possible. I mean, you guys don't have to do that, but I want to get some of the beans that look somewhat yellow a little more into the brown phase of the roast. So we'll just keep stirring this. So the about 5 or 6 tablespoons that I measured out should be good for 1 serving of coffee. That should be good enough for 2 cups in the morning. two 12-ounce cups in the morning. If you want to share it with somebody or have it yourself, that should be fine. So what we'll do after this is we'll let this coffee roast overnight, and then tomorrow morning we'll go ahead and prepare the French press and give it a taste test. Alright, so we've been roasting for about 7 minutes now. So there's about 13 minutes left on the clock. We may not go the full way. I just want to make sure I'm not roasting, over roasting or under roasting. So I'm looking for something between about 15 to 20 minutes. So you guys can use a wooden spoon. I wouldn't recommend a metal spoon, just because it probably will be difficult to keep it cool. You can use a whisk. I've seen other people use whisks. My first time roasting in a pan, I used a whisk, but you can do it as you want. Alright, so we're going to turn the fire up just a bit. And you can see that we're entering the browning of the beans, and it's roasting quite evenly. Alright, so what I'll do here is I'll try and speed this video up, just so you guys can start to see the color developing just a bit. So I will just reopen this video with some editing, and you guys should see these beans starting to turn somewhat more brown. So I'll see you guys in about 2 or 3 minutes.